Thank you. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Thank you so much for having me here today. It's a big honor and it's a big pleasure to be here to share my own knowledge about purpose and my experience. Yeah, so I suppose in the interest of time, I'm just going to get started and just jump right in. And I would like for this, our talk today to be very interactive. So please feel free to interrupt if you have any questions, and we'll take it from there. Thank you. Yes, so I'm just gonna get started. So as Surabi said, today I'm gonna be focused on the importance of purpose and self-development. I suppose, especially with the pandemic and COVID-19, this is so much more important right now. You know, you can see it in everything we do, both on a personal level and a global level. Yes, so there is no better time than to actually dive into this topic. So just a little bit more about me. I'm an integrative nutrition and health and wellness coach. I'm also a certified life and mindset coach. I have over 12 years in the healthcare industry as a registered mental health nurse. I've always loved coaching and, you know, personal development. So I have a diploma in coaching for performance as well as a master's in entrepreneurship. And just a little bit about me and how I got started. For me, this journey began around 5 to 6 years ago when I moved to the UK. And I tell you, there's so many opportunities in the UK. It's just amazing, and it just blows your mind, and so many things you can dive into. And not just in the UK as well, and even I suppose in the world around us. I suppose the world is now opening up. There's so many opportunities coming up, especially with technology. For me, this started, you know, with my background in mental health nursing. I have a first-hand experience of how, you know, the healthcare industry works in terms of how we look after our clients. There's a lot of focus on medications and a lot of treating symptoms as opposed to the whole body experience. As opposed to the holistic view in terms of the physical, the mental, the spiritual, and everything else that's going on in our lives. So for me, and especially in mental health nursing, what you see is people keep coming back over and over again. They never really fully get, I suppose, healing and completely treating whatever issues they're coming with. Maybe it's anxiety and depression, and there's so much reliance on medication and so much reliance on the healthcare practitioner as the experts. So they expect you to fix them, and they give their power to you. Okay, you fix me. You have to figure out what's wrong. And you know, it's like this vicious cycle of, oh yeah, take this medication, it's not working, I'm gonna come back, and that vicious cycle is not working at all. And over time, with so much medication and so much giving their power to the healthcare professional to fix you, people, you know, just become debilitated over time, and you gain weight from medication, experience so many side effects, and they lose their skills and anything that they have going on for them, because they don't actually fully realize that they are the experts. We are the experts in your health. You are the experts in your own health and well-being, not someone else. Okay, so for me, it's about empowering each person to actually be the expert in their own health and well-being, to actually get in touch and get in tune with your own mind, body, and spirit, and really get to know themselves. And the other part of it is the purpose. You know, for me, this started with, okay, my finances. Oh, I really want to be financially free to spend time with my family. And as time went on, I tried so many different things. I tried trading, property, I attended so many property networking events. Oh my God, I tried everything, Amazon. And, you know, it was just that every time I tried something, it was just like, oh, I really want to create something, but I don't know what it is. But I knew there was a fire in there that wanted to come out, and I just didn't know how to express it. And for me, I could really feel that pain. And this quote here by Maya Angelou, it says, "There is no greater pain than bearing an untold story inside of you." I'm not sure if anyone has ever felt that way, where you just feel like there's something inside of you you want to create and you want to express, but you're not really sure how. And that alone, oh, thank you. And that alone can actually be so painful. And it's not even physical. It's not even as if, someone is hunting you, but it's just that pain inside of you that you want to bring out to the world. So for me, that really matters a lot. So what I do is a combination of that health and that self-expression, helping you bring out what is inside of you that you want to express. And that's why I love coaching. And I believe that every single one of us have a specific talent that we've been brought here in this world to do and to share. And it's about, helping each person explore that and helping each person bring that out. And, we live in a world where we value other people's opinions and we don't really trust ourselves. So it's about actually trusting ourselves a lot more and bringing our own thoughts and value and our own purpose and sharing that with the world. And for me, I think the world would be a better place for that. And as Gandhi said, be the person, be the change you want to see in the world. And for any change to happen in the world, we need to be who we are. And that's how we, lead by example. When others are seeing what we're doing, they're more likely to, step into their own purpose, step into that. So each of us is the leader by the things we do, because we're all influencers and everyone else is watching us, whether we know it or not, whether we think, oh yeah, I'm not on social media, how can I be an influencer? Just the people around you, your siblings, everyone around you are actually watching what you're doing. So yeah, so for me, this is very important. Okay. So yes, so I am so grateful for this opportunity. I live by a motto of being grateful. As they say, a grateful person is a happy person. Yeah, so I am so grateful right now. So I would just like to invite one or two people to actually share what you're grateful for right now.
I can start.
Oh yeah, please do.
I'm grateful for just being alive and being healthy, because for the past few months I've been struggling with some issues, some skin issues, and I just feel that my skin has healed itself, and I'm really, really happy about that. And I'm also grateful for all the opportunities I've got until now. I'm grateful for just having a house right now to live in, and for the sunny day today. Every day when I go to bed, I write a journal for what I'm grateful for in that day. And I feel that has really helped me, because I feel that creates an abundance mindset. Because we can always, sometimes we can just go in that loop that I don't have this, I don't have this. And sometimes even I get into that mindset, but it's so important to be grateful for what you have at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. That's beautiful. Who else would like to go?
Come on, guys, anyone?
I saw Lakshmi nodding her head, so I thought I'll wait for her to speak.
Okay, then I will start. I'm grateful for everything, for having a house, family, proper education, food, like each and everything. And currently, I'm grateful for this session because I have never received any such opportunity to interact with such great and amazing people. So I'm grateful for that.
Oh, thank you so much. That's beautiful. Thank you. So yes, so before we just get right in, so while we're in this, spirit of gratefulness, I would just like us to actually sit squarely into our seats and just take it, just to center ourselves and just take 3 deep, big breaths, okay? So we're breathing in till, our stomach feels full. So we're breathing into our stomach, holding it for a second and then letting it out slowly. So we're gonna do it 3 times, okay? Just to center ourselves into it and just connect to this moment. So if you just start. So how does that feel?
Amazing.
Yeah, I think it's our bright is one of the precious gifts in life we could ever have.
Definitely. It
So
just
yeah, what?
makes you feel so
Yeah,
present.
absolutely, yes. So what we're going to explore today, so we're going to talk about purpose and self-development, and I'm just going to touch on briefly about these topics really, because we don't really have too much time to actually get into everything, and some of the benefits in relation to our mental health, especially with COVID, and some tools to help with that self-discovery and to help us, get in connection with our purpose, and just to develop that much more confidence in ourselves. So right now, I would like us to think for a minute, just to really visualize what is your ideal life. Have you ever sat down to even think about your life as a whole, or what do you want to be, do, have, and how are you feeling? What are your dream behaviors in terms of your health? Are you exercising daily? Are you eating well? What are your relationships like? What are your social environments like? Your finances, your career, into business? What are your dreams? Just very quickly, just think about that. Did anything come up for anybody, even just very briefly, that hasn't come up for you before? What's new?
May I ask, sorry, what did you say actually? The last sentence? Sorry, it's just accent, because of the accent, it's really hard to interpret.
That's okay. That's okay. So it's on the screen there. So my last sentence was, what are your big dreams? What is your vision? What is the big dream? What dream do you have that you think, oh my God, that you're so scared to even share with the world?
Okay.
One of my biggest dreams, like one of my dreams is to give TED talk. Like I always have this vision of I want to do that.
Yes, absolutely. And that's very possible. Absolutely. Who else?
I feel like for Surabhi, it should not be a difficult task, Really.
I applied actually to be TED fellow once and I got rejected, so I have to apply again.
Yeah, keep going, exactly. Yeah, keep applying. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna move on now. So I'm just gonna define what purpose is. It's essential, so it's self-organizing in the sense that it provides a framework for us to live our life. When you have a purpose, you have a sense of direction. You know exactly where you're going. Okay, so it helps with your decision making, especially when confronted with competing options and how to spend your time and energy. COVID-19 is a big example. So especially at the, in 2020, where everything got started, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and it's still very evident nowadays. But when you have a purpose, a lot of that does not matter, because you have a specific target, you have a specific goal that you're working towards, you have a sense of direction of where you're going in life. So you could either spend your time being anxious and depressed, or you could focus on your life purpose and where you're going. So my question to you guys is, so which do you think is better, worth our time and energy? Focus on the global anxiety that we know, the uncertainty that is being spread out into the media. Oh yeah, no one knows what's going to happen. But at the same time, do we want to keep feeding our mind with those anxiety and the negativity that we're hearing from the media? Or do you want to focus on what's true for you?
I want to add to that actually. So yeah, we all have something which is true to us, but sometimes since we are social beings, it can really be very difficult. Like for me personally, yes, I am from a computer science background, so we were always in front of the screen, and I think most of the people are the same. But because of the pandemic, it was like all the time. We didn't have any boundary between work and personal life. So because of that, I feel that I was very lost in it at moment, and it's really difficult to not like just keep going all the time. I mean, not that I can, but at some point I was like, that's why my body sort of reacted, you know, and I had to give up some things which I just didn't want to. So I think even though we have a purpose and we can keep going, sometimes I think it is extremely important to take time off and really just process the feelings of anxiety and talk to someone about it, either do therapy or just talk to a friend. But because it's so important to express your feelings, otherwise it will manifest as other stuff if you don't express it. So I think it's really important to just be vocal about how you feel, and it is okay to feel it. I think that's what I learned from it.
Absolutely, yes. And would anyone else like to share their experience during the pandemic? It's okay. I think this is a safe space. The more we share, the more we grow. Lakshmi, did you want to say something?
Yes. Yes, during pandemic, actually, I just started with my college. I shifted from my hometown to actually like a metro city. So it was a big change for me. I had just started with it, but due to pandemic, I need to come back to my hometown. So during all that time, just sitting at your home and knowing that you are in a professional course and great opportunities and that all, you know what, environment, I just miss that thing that I need to be there and I'm just sitting at my home. So that things really bothers me during pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, totally. Yeah. And all our experiences are valid. But one thing I would like to share in relation to the pandemic and some of the anxieties and things we feel, again, it takes some kind of education and knowledge to know this, is that, you know, everything is a message. When you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling depressed, and when you're feeling lost, it's a message, and it's about knowing and connecting what is missing here. What am I missing? What do I need to plug into or connect into? Or what do I need to eliminate or stay away from? Like what Surabi was saying, like, you know, so much time spent on social media. Maybe it's time to cut that part out and focus more on yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't really talking about social media, but I was more talking about social media is a huge part of it, but I'm talking more about that we are social beings.
Yes.
We do need, this pandemic has actually taught us how disconnected everything has become. It's not really a best environment to live in because everything is pretty disconnected. There are people around you, there are things around you, but you are not even connected to yourself because everybody, each one of us is having some kind of health issue. I didn't have any issue until like last month, but it was just a minor skin issue. But I just kind of like get really, really, you know, focused. If something happens, I'm like, how is it happening? I'm not doing anything wrong. Why is it happening? I'll be like really control freak about it. But sometimes it could be just manifested emotions or emotions under you or even circumstances. Sometimes you can get affected by things happening around you no matter how much you cut them out of your life. So it is extremely important to know your goal, but it is also important to know that you have to feel your feelings and you have to let them out. You have to be connected to people around you. You have to vent it out. So if you don't do that, it can actually really badly affect you, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are all true. But one thing that actually came up for me during the pandemic was a lot of people were anxious and depressed because they were lonely. Like you said, there was a sense of disconnect. And you said, you know, and there's a sense of disconnect even with yourself.
Yeah.
But the main thing is it's important that we are by ourselves, that we learn to be by ourselves.
Exactly.
That is very important.
With that. Yes. And once you
Yeah.
have a purpose, once you know that you're on the right path, you wouldn't feel anxious about what's happening outside of you. That is true. And that is true enlightenment, I think, because like when you're enlightened, and when you are kind of like so in presence with yourself, you so know that you trust yourself,
Yeah.
that I trust myself, I know what I'm doing. That's when none of the outside stuff will affect you. And that is
Yeah.
true. That is really true, because like even Eckhart Tolle, like he wrote a book about the power of now, right? So it's all about being present. It's all about being in the moment, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past, being in the moment. And actually that's the hardest thing to do. For me
Yeah.
specifically it is, because even when I'm like making my bed in the morning, I'll be like, okay, I need to have a shower now, I need to have a meeting now, I need to go there. I'm never in the moment. It's the hardest thing ever.
It is hard, but I think that's where that's the sweet spot, and I think that's where we are working towards. If you can walk to, and I suppose that's why we're talking about this, and that's part of self-development, because it is a journey, and it's about learning, growing in that process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between lonely and being alone. And it's the same thing. You can literally be surrounded by friends even before the pandemic and still be very lonely. Okay.
Yeah.
Be at a party and there's so much going on. People are jumping and everyone is partying hard and still feel very lonely and depressed inside. So it's not just about having people around you and connection. It's about actually that feeling inside of you that, yes, I'm happy to be alone by myself, because you need to you need to develop that relationship with yourself first. And our external relationship is a manifestation of our internal relationship with ourselves. Okay, so hopefully this pandemic is a message. This is something that another thing we can learn, that it's important that we're able to be by ourselves, to cultivate that silence. We live in a world where everyone has to do, and no one is being.
Yeah.
And just taking stuff and talk stock and reflecting, and just developing that spirit of self-appreciation. This is how far I've come. This is what I've achieved.
What do you do in situations when you feel like you're not able to trust yourself? Like, you're like, you have 2-3 decisions you need to make, and they're actually major decisions, right? But then you're like, I just don't know what to do. And that happens to me many times. But, I just don't want to be like that. I don't want to be unsure about things. I just want to go do it. But sometimes you're just like unsure because you don't want to end up in a conflicted situation or something like that. You're just like, I want to take this decision, but I'm probably not sure about this. How do you become more decisive about situations?
Yeah, I think the first thing to remember is that that's okay. It's okay not to be sure, because if we're sure all the time, then, it's okay. This is life, because we can't be sure about everything, because then we're not growing if we think that we know everything. No, we don't know everything. And that's part of the learning process. We can't be sure about everything. And it's about being okay. Okay, I'm not sure right now, but that's why silence is important. And that's why it's important to be patient with ourselves and just say, to that person, can I think about this? One thing I've learned about myself, and again, this is about tapping into all the different sources out there. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of the human design. So for me, there are 4 different types, and I'm a manifesto. And one of the things is about taking time to make a decision. And they would give you, like, say, you need about 28 days to be able to decide. And it's about, and being confident in the fact that, this is me, this is what I need. And it's about knowing yourself as well, over the period of time, in the last 10 years, what has been true for you, what has been consistent in the way you make decisions that really, really works for you. So it's about knowing yourself as well. It's about, okay, I'm not sure about this right now, but I'm just going to take my time. And I found that for me, consistently taking time, and even when you're not thinking about that thing specifically, it's there at the back of your mind, it's working. Your subconscious mind is always working. And just like that, it will come to you. And sometimes it may not come, and it's about taking risks based on your values and what's true for you. Okay, so what is true for me right now? And does this decision fit in the greater purpose of my life, the direction of my life right now? So it's a combination of all of these things. Yeah. And that's a very good question, Surabi. Thank you.
That really does make a lot of sense. I mean, taking time and taking risks, these are the only options we have, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. So why is it so it's to help us start thinking about, sometimes in the previous quotes here I have here, so your purpose in life is to find your purpose and give your whole heart and soul to it. And it's okay if you don't know it. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's not about having it. It's about that learning and growing and who you become in a process. Okay, so it's to help you live successful and happy lives. So without your purpose, you could be doing anything. You could make a lot of money. And as we all know, money doesn't necessarily buy happiness. But when you have a purpose and sense of meaning in life, it makes a whole lot of difference. Yeah, it helps you.
I wouldn't really agree with it. Money does buy a little bit of happiness. I mean, the thing is that you need money to survive, but the more money you have, the more comfortably you can live.
And I get that. That's not what I'm saying at all, Surabi. I get that. Oh, I love money and I want to be a billionaire. That's my goal. Anyway, I love money, okay? Oh, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm just trying to differentiate between money and happiness. Because without money, you can't make a whole lot of difference in the world, especially when you have big goals and big dreams. The money solves a lot of problems. But it's when you put a lot of, energy in money, money won't give you happiness. It's about what you do. It's using money as a tool for yourself. Okay? So it's about making money work towards your greater purpose. Yeah? So there's a difference. You could be in a job that really sucks and it pays a lot of money, but it won't nourish your soul.
Yes.
You could be a millionaire, billionaire, and you could be depressed. It won't buy you happiness. So there is a big differentiation in that. Yeah?
Yes, I completely agree with that.
Yeah. So we're talking about purpose. It doesn't have to be something as big as, eliminating nuclear weapons and ending world hunger, Or it could be something as, being a great parent, because trust me, parenting is the toughest job in the whole wide world. I think so anyway. And I was watching an episode of The Desperate Wives of Beverly Hills, or one of those American shows. I don't normally watch it, but I just wanted to watch it to see what's the difference between normal people and people that live billionaires. And one of those people who happens to be a billionaire and owns one of the big casinos in Las Vegas found parenting challenging. One of the toughest job in the world. I don't think anyone has ever cracked the code on parenting. And again, it could be, now they talk about it, that could be a really big purpose, actually. It could be something as, making a giraffe's life more pleasant and working with animals. It's unique to each person. Okay, so it's about thinking about what's unique to you and not comparing yourself to the others, or this person is doing this. No, there is no joy in comparison. So what's true for you? So again, based on my research, because like I mentioned before, in terms of self-expression, your self-expression is connected with your purpose. The more you are in alignment with your purpose, the more you're happy to express and just shout it to the rooftop, to the world. So it gives you a sense of meaning in life. It leads to gratitude. So today, I'm glad that we all started with gratitude, because as they say, a grateful person is a happy person. You're less likely to be depressed when you're grateful. Okay? Have you ever had that experience when you're just working and you're just so happy and on top of the world for no reason? Yeah? How does that feel when it's like, woo, like you're just happy for no reason? And it's moments like that that matter. Yeah?
Actually, for me, it's like my friends always tell me, I don't know, I'm just not sure of what kind of tea you drink, because there's definitely something in it. Because I'm always laughing and I'm always joyful, that they always doubt that I'm doing something behind the scenes. But it's just the fact that I'm just happy myself, and I don't even drink alcohol or smoke or anything.
Yeah.
It's just me. It's just my natural behavior. So I think it really is possible that you can be happy in yourself without having a lot of very lavish lifestyle or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just eating proper I feel eating also, when we eat food which is alive, like live
Mm,
live
yeah.
fruits, live stuff, like not animals but actual fresh stuff, then we
Yes.
feel alive. And I feel when we eat animals, it's all dead stuff. So if you put
Mm,
dead stuff in us, then we feel more low, we feel more heavy, we feel more low vibrational. But
yeah.
when we actually feed ourselves with things which are fresh, we feel alive, we feel so good. And that's why, I mean, I'm vegan, so I feel really happy about that. Ever since I was always vegetarian, but I feel that it really helps with your happiness and everything, your vibration.
Yeah. Totally. Absolutely. Totally. Pragya, what did you say?
Yeah, the same thing that I totally agree with this point. The fresh food point. I feel
Yeah.
happy for I mean, yes, it is a reason. It's not like I'm happy for no reason, but yeah, if I'm eating healthy and just one meal and it makes me really happy. And it makes, it gives me the power to, yes, now what were the problems again? Okay. Okay, I'll give my best now. So it
Yeah.
can.
Love that. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Everything is connected, isn't it? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Everything is connected.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
everything,
sorry.
yeah.
For me, it's like just some background noise, so I'm gonna mute.
Okay, cool. So, the food we eat, the way we think, the people we hang out with, everything is connected. Yeah, and I really love that you guys are noticing this, even something as simple as the food we eat actually, yes, makes an impact on how we feel. Yeah, so some of the other benefits is, the greater the sense of meaning in life, it's associated with, fewer depression. You're able to reframe stressful situations a lot better and you're able to deal with them more productively. It increases your resilience, your self-esteem and confidence. And the thing about life is, sometimes we think, oh, we need to be happy all the time. No, that's not what life is about. Life is about being able to overcome challenges and obstacles. And the more we do that, the more we have this sense of resilience, that confidence, develops from overcoming challenges. Because, I don't know what it would be like actually if we lived in a life where there were no challenges to overcome. I don't know. Does anyone has anyone ever thought about that? I don't know. Because the more we overcome, we have challenges and the more
Actually,
goals
I
and
did,
things.
but the thing is, I did think of it like in terms of what if there was a life in which everybody had everything, but then we probably wouldn't be happy because I think we get happiness in terms of accomplishing goals and fulfilling goals, and that's what brings you a sense of happiness and joy. So I guess
Yes.
it's really important to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carl Jung as a quote, I don't know, I can't remember how it goes, but it's to do with happiness and it's about light and darkness. You can't have light without dark. And it's about, getting in touch with that darkness to be able to see the light.
Yes.
It's almost like that yin yang. It's impossible to have one without the other. So
Yes.
yeah. So where is light coming from if you don't have dark? How do you even tell the difference?
Yeah, even like we feel grateful when we, like for example, if you don't have money right now and then you get like money in a few days or something, you feel grateful for that money. So it's like you feel grateful for something which you don't have right now when it comes. And then if we have everything in the moment, then we might not feel as grateful as we are
Yes,
now. So
Yeah, there
exactly.
would be nothing to be grateful for. There would be nothing that will give happiness. There would be no
Yeah,
sense of competition. There
yeah,
would be no that, okay, we have this. There wouldn't be a feeling that, oh, we
yeah,
have this, because we have
yeah.
never, there's no such thing that we don't have this. It doesn't
Yes.
exist. So we wouldn't know that, okay, we have this. So people would stop talking because there would
Yeah,
be no use of talking, and
yeah.
it will be a mess. And
Yes.
more and more it will, ultimately it would lead to deaths.
I don't
Yeah.
know though, because like if you kind of like imagine a world like, for example, heaven or something, where everything is there and everything is fancy and everybody is happy.
Mm.
But one thing I feel which could be eliminated is people's behaviors, like negative behaviors, how people can treat each other at sometimes at extreme points, and whatever. Like listening to the news, I never listen to the news because I just feel that it just is not alignment with what I think about. So in news you can always just listen to stories which are always negative. Like I've never heard of one positive news ever.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
like, if that is happening, it's like people are behaving certain ways. So if they limit that, I think world can definitely be much better, because
I do listen to some news, and you know what? Listening to all these negative news, I generate opinions, and those opinions are actually positive. So now, based on negative news, if I'm generating positive opinions, and then I start to get grateful, oh my God, thank God it has not happened to me, thank God it has not happened to our society and or our area. Although there are a lot of things that happen, but still, oh, something happened there and somebody is taking any action. So it gives me happiness, it gives positivity, it gives aim, it gives sense of direction, that yeah, something like this also exists and this is also happening. So I think from negative news also you can like start generating positivity.
Yeah, and that's great. And it's lovely to hear the different points of views, which is what it is all about. We all have different point of view, well, which is amazing. And it's a wonderful mindset to have, because everything is our attitude and our mindsets and the way we look at things. Yeah, because there are a lot of people out there that just soak in the news and they don't make an opinion. They just take it for what it is. They just believe the news and this is what's happening in the world. The world is so negative. And that's the difference. There is the difference between separating the negative and not making it your own, and separating yourself from the news and forming your opinion out of it.
sorry, I was just like posting on social media about the talk and then something came up.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm just gonna fly through because I've just kept an eye on the time now. Okay, so what's the need for purpose in this pandemic? A big one, as we've just been talking about. These are two quotes that I just thought might be helpful to just bring out. So this guy, I can't pronounce that name. George, I'm just going to say George. A writer, and I believe generally all persons must think that whatever happens to him or her is a resource. All that given to us for a purpose, and an artist must feel this more intensely. All that happens to us, including our humiliations, our misfortunes, our embarrassments, is what gives us as clay, so that we may shape our art. Yeah. And Sister Stan says, well, there's much in the future and the present that we cannot see or understand. That doesn't matter if we know we have a purpose in life. That gives us a balance to a human situation. And it is said that many people in life drift into things, school, work, marriage, having children. But when we have a sense of purpose, we don't drift. We listen to our call. We discern what is right at any particular time. That is something that we must do all our lives, that will bring peace and happiness. Yeah? Did anything come up for anyone with this?
I think it's more about like having purpose in the moment. Like you don't worry about the future or the past or anything. If you know that you're on the right path, and that's all about self-trust. Like you trust yourself. That's the hardest part, because you could have ideas of businesses and stuff, and you'd like, okay, I'll start it, and I really believe in it, but it's all about how much trust you're having in yourself. Like if you trust yourself with it, then other people would trust your idea. But if you don't trust it, other people wouldn't trust it. So if you trust that this is your purpose and this is what you've come here to do, then you would give your all in and you would keep going in that direction, and you would not worry of what's going to happen because you trust yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And it can be really challenging when other people don't believe in our goals and our purpose. But that's okay, because not everyone will get it. Yeah. And like Pragya said, in terms of, the media, not everyone has that mindset. Again, it's about a point of view to actually be able to translate, the negative into the positive. Yeah. So in this pandemic, a lot of people, based on the different ways of looking at things, for a lot of people, the pandemic was a really great opportunity to actually really take stock of your life and to really focus on what's important. And a lot of people's lives have changed just because of this pandemic. And without this pandemic, a lot of people will continue to be in like jobs and, relationships and things that is really, not serving them. But because of this, they're able to change direction. But on the flip side, though, like a lot of things have happened, which, we can only pray for those people and, that are affected and that hope that they find peace. So it's almost like, two different, opinions and attitudes that can be taken from that. But when you have a sense of purpose, like you said, Rabi, it's important. It's, it just gives you that, you're present. Like you said, it's about being present. You're not anxious about the past or the future. You're focused on this moment right now. And you look at what's available.
I also want to ask, like, how do you kind of let go of other people's, I know other people's opinion doesn't really matter, but how do you, when you are in social situations and if other person says something to you, how do you deal with that? Like, how would you deal with something like that? Or
That's really
anything.
Like deal personally, or do you like if somebody said something to you and other people are believing that person, so
Actually,
what do you
not really in terms of other people, like deal personally, like how you know that you're right, you know that you're on the right path, but if multiple people say something to you, would you not feel like that? Would you not feel like maybe they're right or something?
if they know each and sorry,
go on, Pragya, go on.
okay, so if those people who are like telling you that you are wrong, if they know each and every point of your story, then then maybe they are right. But if they are missing even one single point that you know and they don't know, then there's no point in 100% believing them.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a very good point, actually. Yes, and I'm just going to build on that. So it's almost like an elephant, really. I don't know, I can't remember the story. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of it. And, maybe they're, 4 blind person, and they have, an elephant. One is giving the trunk and the others are at the back of the elephant where the leg is, and the other people are in the middle. And they're like, oh, what does this elephant look like? They're like, yeah, it's a long snake. They don't know it's an elephant, but what it sees is a long snake. And the other people have this really long, big leg. And that's like, oh yeah, this is what it looks like. But no one actually has the bigger view of the elephant. They can't see exactly what it looks like. So, just like, Pragya said, they don't live your life. And it's really, like I said, we live in a very social world where we're looking for external validation and where we want to be like this person, be like that person. Unfortunately, this is the society we live in. But it's about having that unshakable, confidence in your belief and your purpose. And it takes time to develop that, to get to that stage. But the more you practice it with little things, the more you can develop that muscle to say, you know what, I believe in myself.
that's really true.
Yeah.
And
because
what are your thoughts on building more self-love for yourself?
Again, it takes practice with the little things, really.
Yeah, I believe in that, because I feel that it's very important to do some things for yourself and put yourself first and actually value yourself before only then other people will value you if you value yourself. So it's very important to be happy with yourself, happy in your own skin, and really rocking what you got, and basically just being happy with yourself. And if you do that, then other people would see it as well,
Exactly. Yes, yes. So it's like I said, you're a leader. Everyone is a leader. Anyone is an influencer. So you're being the change you want to see in the world. Because the more you're happy with yourself, the more you give other people an opportunity to step into that role of, yes, I'm happy with myself. There's so much going on. I need to do this. I need to do that. But actually, no, I don't need to do this right now. I just need to, there's a quote that says, oh, if you feel like you're too busy to meditate, now that is the best time to meditate. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna fly through this. So yeah, so we've been talking a lot about purpose, but how does self-development fits in here? So when you have a bigger vision for your life, you want to speak at a TED Talk. So how do you get to that stage where you speak at that TED Talk?
I think sorry, I think I've been myself here. So basically, I feel we get to that stage when we are confident in ourselves and we kind of believe that we're going to rock it. And basically, we have something to share with the world, which we feel we are very confident about. We feel like we've kind of found what what our life is all about, so that we can really change and make an impact in someone else's life. We have a story.
Yeah, yeah. So again, on that journey, there's a lot of self-development that's happening. We're improving ourselves. We're learning more about ourselves. Okay? So this is what self-development does. It helps you develop into a bigger version of who you are, to help you get closer to your purpose. It's like, I want to be the biggest, the most successful entrepreneur in the world. But before you're the biggest successful entrepreneur in the world, there's so many things you need to cultivate along the way. You need to learn entrepreneurship. There's some skills you need to learn, some attitudes you need to develop, working with people, so there's so many things that need to be developed along the way, and this is what self and personal development is all about. So there's a mindset you have to develop. Again, when we're talking about having that unshakable confidence in yourself, or how do I believe in my purpose even when other people do not believe in it, it takes a different kind of mindset. Yeah, so it takes a different way of looking at things, a different attitude, a different outlook on life to be able to get to that stage. So these are some of the skills that you develop along the way. So Gary Vee is a big one. One of his goals, his biggest goals, is to buy the New York Jets. And for him, this is a very big dream. And one of the things he said was he will get upset when he eventually, achieves that goal, achieves that purpose. Why? Because then what else am I working on living towards? So for him, it's not about the goal or the purpose specifically. It's about who you become in that process. Okay, who are you? Who do you become? What kind of relationships are you creating? What stories are you telling? Whose lives have you made better in that process? Yeah. It's about the journey, really. As they say, life is a journey. It's not a destination. Sometimes we can think, oh yeah, I want to achieve this, but it's not about that achievement. It's about, it's that journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
So there are 4 main areas. So physical, and I'm glad we spoke about the physical in terms of our diets and nutrition, because if you're very sluggish and if you're not eating well, goodness me, it's about, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You have all this purpose you want to achieve, but you don't have the strength and the energy to work towards it. How is that going to work? It's not going to work. So your mental attitude, it's about, feeding your mind, developing a positive mindset. You're learning and developing new skills. You need to develop your imagination. And as Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Okay? Learning to see from other people's perspectives. Social, how are you building your personal and professional relationships? How are you adding value to the lives of others? Yeah, how are you contributing to your community?
Yeah.
Spirituality, it matters a whole lot. Yeah. So some of the why spirituality matters, it gives you both spiritual and psychological, resilience. So it's okay to talk about, having this purpose, and this is, but there's a lot going on there in the background. And this is where the spiritual and psychological bits comes in, because there's a higher power there guiding you. Because if everyone else around you does not believe in your purpose, there's a bigger, reason why you're here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah. And, one of the things I would like to bring about, especially when it comes to organizations that stood the test of time, say, when it comes to like addictions, like the AA has been around for a long, long time because of the spiritual elements out of it. They focus on higher purpose, something bigger than you got, whatever you want to, because this actually, and there's a lot of research that, organizations and companies that have a spiritual element to it actually stand the test of time. And it gives you hope. You develop that inner freedom from life challenges, and especially when in terms of the COVID-19, and when we're talking about silence and being alone, it's about that inner freedom. Yeah, you understand that nothing outside of you causes you any disturbances because you take full responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
It's
that.
about you. Yeah. So, and as they say, like, it's not about what's happening around you. It's not like about someone did this to you. No, it's your response and your reaction to what's going on around you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you develop that life plan? Okay. So we're talking about, a lot going on here. Sometimes purpose does not happen without pain. That's why the darkness is important as much as the light, because without darkness, there'll be no light. Without pain, there'll be no purpose. That's what I believe anyway, because if you don't have that pain that's really bugging you, you're not going to take action to actually think, how do I fix this or work through this? Okay. So my question to you now is, what is your mess? How can you turn this into a message and your mission? Yeah. Like Bernie Siegel said, he says we all have pain. Sometimes we all try to hide our pain. No, don't hide your pain. Share it with the world. Because then other people can find peace in that. It's about loving ourselves despite those pain. So I would like us, I don't think there's any going to break a room. I'm just thinking what time is it right now. Okay, don't have too much time. So if you guys wanna, do you guys have a pen and paper there? And just to spend 2 minutes, maybe I'll give you 5 minutes actually, and just to really ponder the questions on the screen there. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you have a pen and paper, just take your time, just 5 minutes, and I'm gonna time it, and just write down exactly what comes up for you.
Should we share?
Yes, please go for it. So,
Do I need to share what I've written, or
if anyone would like to share, so it would be nice to hear from someone who hasn't shared at all yet.
Yeah, definitely. Who wants to go, guys? Come on. We also have the next speaker who has come along. So everybody, please don't be shy. Let's take this opportunity to go ahead.
I think I did not have a pen and paper as such. I was more into imagining and focusing it rather than writing it down, because the place I'm sitting doesn't have a pen, and I was just conscious of the time that I don't want to waste my 5 minutes. I'll rather imagine it. So
Brilliant.
something what I thought of was perhaps like 109 is quite ahead in time for me, so I do not know what it would be, but I definitely know that I would be happy, and I would perhaps be surrounded by my family and close friends and lots of dogs. That's my ideal life in a country house. So I mean, looking back on the years we have lived, I'll definitely be telling my younger self to not be anxious and not, double self doubt yourself. And when you're about to make a decision, do not be indecisive and just go for it. And also the fact that it is all going to be okay at certain point of time. I mean, everything will fall into place. Everyone has their own struggles, but we are very focused on ourselves, and we don't even think of our higher selves. So just that things will fall into place. Maybe I'm just like 25, so I do not know, but when I'm 35, I'll still be saying the same to my 25-year-old myself. So
I love that.
something along that line.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you. Love it. Absolutely. And there was so much wisdom in what you just shared. And it's
I
almost
already
like
feel like 100-year-old now after saying this.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better than, just like that, to not be anxious or worried, like things will fall into place. Like if you knew that right now in everything you're doing right now, what difference would that make for you?
I couldn't really focus on step 3 on creating action points, because as I said, it was a very generalist and something I've always been practicing to be happy wherever I am and all that. But to get it into action points is more of a daily practice, I'll say. Like I keep a gratitude journal, or I keep thinking optimistically about every situation or every decision I have to make, or even in my career journey. But I could not like come down to an action point as such from it, but perhaps just continue to be happy or continue to be grateful, if that's what it is. But if you can maybe suggest something around these, I'll be open to hear your thoughts.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Again, this is unique. So based on your dream life, you're living in a big country house, you're surrounded by dogs, what I would like you to think about, and I don't think I have it here, so I'm just going to move on here. So you're looking at your whole life. So this is a circle of life tool that we tend to use. So what are you doing in terms of your spirituality? What are you doing for creativity? How much money do you have? Yeah. What is your health like? How are you physically? What kind of home environment are you? What's your relationship like? So you're looking at a holistic view of this. Yeah?
Yeah.
So based on this, you can start putting some action points in place.
Definitely, yes. That's helpful.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So this is, based on my training as a health coach, this is the circle of life tool that we go about. So everything else is our primary foods, and the food we eat is our secondary food. So everything we do is connected. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I'm just going to quickly share some tools to help us move forward. Again, based on some of the things we've been talking about, and I'm really grateful and really glad to hear that a lot of people are using your journaling already, gratitude journaling. You know, the more grateful we are, the more happier we are. There's less depression. You know, meditating, going for walks in nature, read more to build your, you know, your mental aspects of your self-development, using that visualization a lot more. You know, especially when, and I love this a lot, and we don't really use visualization a lot. And, you know, this is something I would love to practice more myself. You know, when you think about the likes of Einstein, Thomas Edison, you know, what's his name? And Henry Ford, they created something out of nothing based on visualization. They imagined a world that they would like to see and created it. So before you do, and they say everything happens twice. So first in our thoughts and imagination, and then in the world. So before anything happens, you have thought about it. You would have, you know, visualized it. Yeah. So all of these things are important. You know, especially in the pandemic, you know, forget about, you know, becoming, you know, growing yourself as a person. When it comes to the pandemic, I would definitely say watch less TV for sure. Just to, you know, eliminate all of those negative things you're bringing into your body, because, you know, subconsciously, you know, consciously you may not think anything of it, but subconsciously there's something happening in there, you know. So there's a lot going on energetically, even though you can't see it. You may not think anything of it, but it's having an impact. So there's you know, it's not even just about positive, you know, it's about being realistic as well. Okay. So again, a lot of the things we talked about is about, you know, believing in yourself. Do not seek for anything outside of yourself. To believe your own thoughts, to believe what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men. And that is true genius. And this is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Yeah. So in one of his, you know, writing, Self-Reliance, he spoke about these things where, you know, the way when you've always thought about something, you're like, oh, I should definitely, you know, do this or put this out there, and then you doubt yourself, and the next thing you see someone else put out exact same thing you've been thinking about, and you're like, why didn't I think of that? It's that kind of thing. It's like, oh, it's just trusting yourself that little bit more and believing that what's true for you is also true for others, and there are other people out there that would really benefit from you sharing your experience. Yeah. So what are your key takeaways? Would anyone like to share? Let's hear from someone else.
Art, Jessica, Geetika, anybody, guys? Meenakshi? Art? Priyanshi? Everybody, come on.
No, that's okay. There's no pressure. You don't have to share, you know, for anyone that would like to share, what are your key takeaways? What's one thing that you're going to put into action as a result of today?
one of my one of my group members, she told me that I sound like a school teacher trying to get people to speak up.
That's okay. Pragya, what are you taking away?
One maybe that one, first love yourself. Second will be nothing outside yourself can disturb you. Sorry. And third can be think of the end before beginning anything. So these three I think are the most important for me personally.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Thank
feeding
you.
your soul. One more thing.
Yes, absolutely. Totally important. Yes, thank you.
For me personally, it's more about being more decisive and trusting yourself, knowing that everything's going to be fine, as Tami said, and also just doing some things which I haven't been doing in terms of I am putting it off, you know, thinking that I can't, thinking like I'm not good enough types. I started something and I stopped it because I felt that I wasn't doing good enough in it.
डेटा सेट मिलता है ना, उससे काफी डिफरेंट होता है, जो लाइक ये वाला जो डेटा सेट है ना,
That's okay.
Sorry. Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that I started a YouTube channel, but I stopped it because of final year and stuff, and I feel like I want to revive it. And yeah, that's one action step from this.
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have the other speaker coming up, so we're very grateful for the session, Bukky. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
I'm
It's
sure a lot of
been a
people would have questions, so please feel free to reach out to her. This was amazing. I loved it.
Thank you. So yes, so if my Instagram is at Life Goals Institute. Feel free to DM me if you have any questions, and that's my email as well. Thank you so much. I'm really sorry this ran over, but yes, so I'm so grateful right now. I've had so much fun being here today. Thank you, guys. So see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bukky. Thank you.